Have you ever noticed how many advertisements and well-meaning acquaintances insist that more protein, especially in the form of shakes, means better health, stronger muscles, and more energy? It's almost impossible to walk down a grocery aisle or watch a commercial without someone mentioning a new protein drink that promises the vitality of youth. If you're 65 or older, you may have heard friends, family, or even social media gurus say, you need more protein to stay fit and active, and that a big scoop of powder in a blender is the simplest solution. But here's a vital point that doesn't always make the headlines. Once you're past 70, an excess of protein shakes may do more harm than good to your kidneys. This isn't about scaring anyone or discouraging you from maintaining a healthy level of protein intake. It's about sharing an important message from kidney health specialists, nephrologists, who have observed what can happen when seniors turn to excessive protein supplementation without understanding how their bodies change with age. Many people over 70 experience changes in how their kidneys function, often without obvious warning signs. Some might feel a bit more tired, have occasional swelling in their ankles, or perhaps notice their blood pressure creeping up. Others may not notice anything until they go in for a routine checkup and the blood test reveals something unexpected. The challenge is that while protein remains essential for muscle maintenance and overall health, too much of it can put an unnecessary strain on kidneys that are no longer operating at full capacity. When you're past a certain age, your body doesn't always manage waste products from protein breakdown as efficiently as it did decades ago. The result? Potentially higher stress on your kidneys, which in turn can lead to complications like reduced kidney function, elevated creatinine levels, or in some cases, faster progression of existing kidney issues. Why does this matter? For one, keeping our kidneys healthy is key to staying independent in our golden years. Healthy kidneys help regulate blood pressure, maintain electrolyte balance, and filter out toxins. They also play a role in bone health because they activate vitamin D and help balance minerals in the blood. When kidneys are taxed by too many waste products, like the byproducts of excessive protein consumption, other aspects of our health can suffer. That's why this conversation is so essential. You deserve to know how to adjust your approach so you can get the right amount of protein for muscle support and energy without overburdening your kidneys. Over the next few minutes, we'll clear up some common misunderstandings about protein intake for seniors, discuss what can really happen to your kidneys if you're not careful with those shakes, and explore practical alternatives that can help you feel your best without tipping the balance into danger. By the end of this talk, you'll walk away with 3 core insights: an understanding of how kidney function changes with age, clarity on how much protein is actually beneficial in your 70s and beyond, and on strategies to tailor your nutrition wisely. Rest assured, this isn't about making you fear your next meal or giving up foods you enjoy. It's about fine-tuning your daily habits so your body can thrive. Now, you might be thinking, I've been healthy all my life. Why should I worry about a bit of extra protein? Or perhaps your doctor once told you to focus on more protein because of muscle loss or low body weight. Those are valid concerns and we'll address them step by step. My background involves working closely with older adults on preventive care strategies that keep them active, happy, and confident in their daily lives. While I'm not here to hand out medical prescriptions, I can share experiences, patterns, and insights gathered from people just like you, folks who realize that making small yet important tweaks to their diet and lifestyle help protect their kidney function and improve their overall well-being. I'd love for you to listen with an open mind, then decide for yourself how this information can be adapted to your unique situation. After all, no one knows your body better than you. If at any point something I mentioned sparks a question, jot it down. You might even pop it into a note on your phone or a piece of paper so you can discuss it with your healthcare provider later. Engaging with this information isn't just a passive activity, it's a partnership in your own health journey. So get comfortable, stay curious, and let's explore this nephrologist warning together. The changes we talk about could help you maintain better kidney health, safer nutrition practices, and more confidence in your daily life for years to come. Let's first look at something many seniors assume, that protein shakes are always a harmless solution. Is this really the truth, or is there more beneath the surface? There's a strong cultural belief that extra protein automatically means stronger muscles, But a surprising number of seniors have found that the same shakes that promise so much may leave them feeling worse in the long run. If you're ready for a fresh perspective, stay with me. One common misconception floating around is that once you reach your 70s, you need to load up on protein to combat muscle loss. Certainly you do need adequate protein, but the trick is finding the right balance. Let's explore how you can achieve that without pushing your kidneys into overdrive. Picture Margaret, age 73, who'd always been quite spry. She was a retired school teacher who prided herself on her independence. No cane, no walker, and a busy schedule of teaching art at the local community center. Over the past year, she'd begun to feel fatigued and noticed that her strength wasn't what it used to be. Everyone from her neighbors to her hairdresser was recommending protein shakes to boost her up. So Margaret started adding an extra shake every day, convinced more protein equaled more energy. She didn't realize that she already ate a balanced diet, lean meats, beans, and a variety of vegetables. As the shakes stacked on top of her regular meals, her body began producing excess waste products from protein metabolism. Soon after, her blood tests showed a rise in her creatinine levels, indicating increased stress on her kidneys. Alarmed, her doctor explained that while her kidneys were still functioning, they were showing signs of strain, something that might not have happened if Margaret had stuck to a diet tailored to her actual protein needs. She cut back on the shakes, focused on higher quality protein sources from real foods, and emphasized hydration. Within a few months, her labs improved, and she regained energy in a sustainable way. Margaret's story highlights a crucial point. More protein isn't always better. Seniors often hear about sarcopenia, a term that describes the muscle loss associated with aging. While it's true that our bodies gradually lose some muscle mass, the solution isn't necessarily chugging extra protein shakes. As Margaret discovered, combining quality protein with moderate resistance exercises often does more for muscle retention than simply piling on the protein grams. When you flood your body with excessive amounts of protein, your kidneys have to filter out more nitrogenous waste, which can lead to kidney stress. If your kidney function is already diminished due to age, high blood pressure, or other factors, this added demand can become problematic. So here's the actionable step. Figure out your personal protein sweet spot. This often involves speaking to a dietitian or healthcare provider who knows your medical history. A general guideline might suggest something like 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight for older adults, but the exact number varies depending on factors like activity level, medical conditions, and overall diet. Yes, it can be intimidating to calculate, but many healthcare professionals and even community nutritionists can help you find a number that suits you. Once you have that guideline, you can spread your protein intake throughout the day with balanced meals. Scrambled eggs at breakfast, a scoop of beans and grilled chicken at lunch, a smaller portion of fish at dinner, without needing multiple shakes. When you align your protein intake with your body's actual needs, your kidneys won't be overburdened by excessive waste. Physically, you may find you have more sustained energy and fewer digestive issues, since your body isn't straining to break down large amounts of protein in a short time. Emotionally, you'll have peace of mind knowing you're getting enough nutrients to maintain muscle without sacrificing kidney health. If you've been relying on protein shakes to maintain muscle, consider how Margaret revamped her approach. One shake in place of a meal or snack, if your doctor deems it beneficial, not in addition to all your usual meals, combined with gentle exercises like light resistance bands or chair squats. And take a moment now to reflect. Have you been adding extra protein without reassessing your kidney health? It's worth pondering. Feel free to pause for a second and think about what a typical day of meals looks like for you. If you're looking to optimize your approach, this is a great place to start. Let's move on to another hidden aspect of the protein shake equation. Certain ingredients in commercial shakes that could be risky for mature kidneys. The second insight often surprises seniors who figure a protein shake is just milk or water plus some powder. There's a common misunderstanding that all protein shakes are basically the same. Good old-fashioned nutrients in a convenient package. In reality, a lot of mainstream shakes include high levels of additives like phosphorus, artificial sweeteners, and other ingredients that can pose challenges for aging kidneys. While you might not see yourself as someone with kidney problems, the fact is that kidney function in seniors can be subtly less robust, making certain additives more problematic than they'd be for a younger person. Picture Harvey, a 77-year-old retiree who took up golf after spending decades in a high-stress corporate job. He liked convenience, so he bought a tub of a popular protein powder advertised with slogans about building strength and endurance. He was diligent, mixing a shake every afternoon before hitting the golf course for a few practice swings. Harvey never thought to check the ingredient list, assuming it was just pure protein. Over time, his blood pressure edged higher, and his doctor found elevated phosphorus levels in his blood, which can strain the kidneys and affect bone health. After reading the fine print on the label, Harvey was shocked to see a long list of chemical-sounding words. The protein brand he chose contained additives to enhance flavor, texture, and shelf life. While these might not be inherently toxic, consuming them daily without moderation added an extra filtration burden to Harvey's kidneys. Once Harvey switched to a simpler, less processed protein brand, one with fewer additives, and reduced his overall shake intake, his subsequent lab results were more stable. He also learned to read the labels on everything he purchased, so he could avoid excessive amounts of phosphorus and certain artificial flavors that can cause bloating or discomfort. This gave him more confidence and autonomy when navigating the supplement aisle. The lesson is clear. Not all protein shakes are created equal. Some come loaded with hidden ingredients, especially phosphorus-based compounds that make the texture and taste more appealing. Excess phosphorus can contribute to imbalances in your blood chemistry, leading to a higher risk for bone density issues and additional stress on your kidneys. Similarly, artificial sweeteners might affect blood sugar regulation or gut health, which can have a ripple effect on how you feel overall. What can you do? First, become a label reader. If you see ingredients you can't pronounce, consider whether that's the right choice for you. There are brands that use more natural sweeteners and fewer additives. You might also look for shakes specifically formulated for seniors or for kidney health. These products often limit the phosphorus content and avoid certain artificial sweeteners. Another practical step is to alternate protein shakes with real food snacks or mini meals. A small piece of fish, cottage cheese with fruit, or a handful of nuts and seeds with a little yogurt. By diversifying your protein sources, you reduce the risk of concentrating too many potentially problematic additives in your diet. Physically, this change can help support more stable kidney function, stable blood pressure, and even better digestive comfort. Emotionally, you may feel more in control of your health choices, which can boost your sense of independence. After all, knowledge is power, especially when it helps you sidestep issues before they become big problems. Now might be a good time to reflect on your own pantry or that tub of protein powder on the kitchen counter. Have you read its ingredient list lately? Does it contain additives that could be complicating your daily routine? Think about setting aside a moment tomorrow to review the label. You might discover opportunities to switch to simpler or more kidney-friendly options. And if you're finding any of this useful so far, jot down a note or share your thoughts with a loved one. Sometimes just talking about it helps ideas stick. Our next stop is a topic often overlooked: the subtle connection between protein shakes, hydration, and kidney stress. This is especially critical for older adults who may not always feel thirsty the way they used to. It's easy to think that hydration only matters when you're outside in the summer sun or working up a sweat, but it's crucial for kidney function at every age. The belief that if I'm not thirsty, I must be well hydrated is a common misconception among seniors. In truth, our thirst mechanism can become less reliable as we get older. When you add protein shakes into the mix, you increase the workload for your kidneys. Proteins break down into waste products like urea and ammonia, which have to be flushed out with water. If you're not hydrating enough, these wastes can build up in your system, making things even harder on your kidneys. Consider George, 80, who prided himself on rarely needing to refill his water glass. "I don't want to be running to the bathroom all day," he'd joke. George decided to start drinking protein shakes after reading a magazine article about muscle maintenance for older adults. At first, he loved the convenience and the taste, but within a few weeks, he noticed unusual fatigue and some mild swelling in his ankles. A routine checkup showed that his kidney function numbers had shifted in a concerning way. When his doctor asked about his water intake, George admitted he drank only a few glasses a day, often less. It turned out that his kidneys were struggling to process the increased waste from protein breakdown because there simply wasn't enough water to support efficient filtration. Once George made a conscious effort to drink more fluids, aiming for small, frequent sips rather than large gulps, his symptoms gradually improved. He also reduced his protein shake frequency, spacing them out with real food meals. This combination allowed his kidneys to handle the protein load more comfortably. He discovered that mild exercises, like brief walks in the park or gentle stretching sessions, complemented his dietary changes and helped him stay more alert and limber throughout the day. To apply George's lessons, consider carrying a refillable water bottle or have a designated water cup you aim to empty every couple of hours. If plain water bores you, herbal teas or infused waters, adding slices of cucumber, lemon, or berries can add flavor without introducing extra sugar. The goal is consistent hydration, not chugging large amounts all at once. Staying hydrated supports kidney function by diluting waste products, helping them pass more easily. Physically, better hydration can reduce episodes of cramping, fatigue, and swelling. Emotionally, you might feel calmer and more mentally clear. Many seniors notice a lift in mood and energy once they start prioritizing small steps like these. It's a simple, almost too obvious solution that often gets overlooked in discussions about kidney health. But you'd be amazed how pivotal it can be in preventing the buildup of harmful byproducts. Think about your current beverage habits. Do you wait until you're really thirsty to grab a drink? If so, you might already be behind on hydration. Taking this step toward consistent fluid intake might be easier than you imagine. For some people, a glass of water after waking up, another with breakfast, and so on in a scheduled pattern makes it simpler to remember. If you're up for it, consider tracking your water intake for a day or two in a journal. You might be surprised at what you discover. Let's take a moment to pause and breathe. We've explored how seniors can overshoot their protein needs, how certain additives in commercial shakes can be a hidden risk factor, and how hydration plays a critical role in kidney function. This might already feel like a lot to absorb, but don't worry. Each of these ideas can be integrated into your routine gradually. Which of these 3 points resonates the most with you right now? Identifying the one that really clicks can help guide your next steps. Moving on, we need to address a fourth issue tied to over-reliance on shakes: the lack of essential nutrients that come from real, whole foods. It's easy for a quick shake to replace a balanced meal, leading to missed opportunities for vitamins, minerals, and fiber. A common assumption is that a protein shake can substitute for a nutritious plate of food. While some shakes are fortified with vitamins and minerals, they often lack the natural fiber, antioxidants, and phytochemicals found in a variety of whole foods. If you're mixing a protein powder with water and calling it lunch, you might be missing out on the synergy that comes from a balanced meal containing vegetables, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates. Over time, nutrient gaps can emerge. Think about Maria, 76, who noticed her nails were more brittle and her hair was thinning. She also felt a bit sluggish and had occasional digestive issues. She had replaced almost all her breakfasts and lunches with protein shakes, believing that was the healthiest, quickest path to meeting her daily protein goal. What she didn't realize was that her overall micronutrient intake was plummeting. The shake label boasted added vitamins, but most of those were synthetic, and not always in optimal forms her body could use effectively. Worse yet, she got almost no fiber, since her shake was mostly protein isolate, sweetener, and a few added nutrients. When Maria's doctor ran a simple blood test, it showed marginal deficiencies in iron, some B vitamins, and even a hint of decreased bone density. A dietitian advised her to start incorporating nutrient-dense foods alongside her shakes, or better yet, replace some shakes with balanced meals. Within months of adding leafy greens, sweet potatoes, nuts, seeds, and a variety of fruits into her daily life, Maria felt more energetic and noticed improvements in her hair and nail strength. She still used one shake a day, but it was no longer her main source of nutrition. Practically speaking, aim to get the bulk of your protein from varied whole food sources like legumes, eggs, lean poultry, fish, and even tofu if you enjoy plant-based meals. Each of these options brings along extra nutrients that support not just muscle building, but also bone health, immune function, and energy. If you choose to keep a protein shake in your routine, try blending in spinach, berries, or a tablespoon of nut butter to amplify the nutritional profile. This extra step adds fiber, vitamins, and minerals, and it slows the absorption of the protein, which can ease the load on your kidneys. Physically, you'll likely notice better digestive health and more consistent energy. Emotionally, diversifying your foods can reignite your relationship with eating. Instead of viewing food as a task you need to get through, you might rediscover the simple pleasures of tasting different textures and flavors. That enjoyment itself can be a powerful motivator for lasting dietary changes. Now, a quick check-in. Have you been relying too heavily on protein shakes to the point where other nutrient-rich foods are getting sidelined? If so, try adding a new ingredient or a side of vegetables to your next shake-based meal. Think of your meals as a chance to nurture not just your muscles, but your entire body. Finally, let's look at one more crucial aspect: collaboration with healthcare providers to monitor kidney function and customize your plan. Many seniors assume that if a protein shake is sold over the counter, it must be universally safe, so there's no need to discuss it with a doctor. This assumption can be risky. Doris, 79, was a classic example of someone who took charge of her health in a commendable way, except she never told her doctor about the 2 shakes a day she had added to her diet. She had mild chronic kidney disease. Although her symptoms were so minimal, she barely noticed them. A few months into her new health kick, blood work revealed a concerning spike in her kidney markers. After some detective work, her nephrologist realized Doris was consuming nearly twice her recommended protein intake, completely unaware she was straining her kidneys. Together, they reworked her meal plan, reducing her protein shakes to a more manageable level and incorporating regular kidney function checks. Within a short time, her kidney markers stabilized. The moral of Doris's story is to keep an open line of communication with your healthcare team. If you have any degree of kidney impairment, high blood pressure, diabetes, or other chronic conditions, your physician or dietitian can help tailor your protein intake. They can also ensure you're not interfering with any medications or inadvertently creating imbalances in your body's electrolytes. Request routine tests like a basic metabolic panel or urinalysis if you're making significant dietary changes involving protein. These tests can catch early shifts in kidney function before they become major problems. What practical steps can you take? Make a note to talk with your doctor at your next appointment about your current diet. Mention how many shakes you consume, what brand you're using, and why you started them in the first place. Ask if any of your medications might interact with your new regimen. Many seniors are surprised to learn that common drugs, like those for high blood pressure, can affect kidney function, changing how much protein is safe. Your healthcare provider might also refer you to a renal dietitian if your kidney function warrants closer monitoring. Physically, this collaboration can give you the best chance to avoid complications like fluid retention, electrolyte imbalances, or further decline in kidney function. Emotionally, you'll gain reassurance that you're not walking this path alone. You have a professional on your side who can support you in fine-tuning your nutrition plan. This can lessen anxiety and create a sense of partnership in safeguarding your health. Remember, there's no need to navigate these decisions in isolation. If you have concerns about how much or what kind of protein you need, scheduling a conversation with your healthcare provider is one of the most empowering steps you can take. Think about making a short list of topics to discuss at your next checkup. Daily protein goals, the frequency of shakes, your typical day's meals, and any kidney-specific tests that might be helpful. Being proactive often leads to better long-term outcomes. At this point, we've dissected several facets of this important topic. The misconception that more protein is always better, the hidden additives in shakes, the role of hydration, the importance of diversified nutrition, and the need for open communication with healthcare providers. Each dimension connects back to one central theme: safeguarding your kidneys while you strive to maintain a strong, healthy body. Let's take a moment to gather all these insights and see how they can transform your day-to-day life. There is real hope here for anyone worried about doing the right thing, but also concerned about kidney stress. While it's crucial to address these issues promptly, there's no reason to panic. Instead, imagine the difference it could make if you practice moderation with protein, read labels carefully, stay well hydrated, incorporate whole foods, and keep your doctors in the loop. That's a powerful shift away from the risks of unknowingly harming your kidneys toward a place of balanced, informed wellness. If you're feeling a bit of urgency, that's not a bad thing. It can be the nudge you need to evaluate your current habits. Think about how much you can gain if you start making small changes this week. You could prevent future complications that limit your independence or reduce stress on your body that might already be accumulating without noticeable symptoms. This isn't about living in fear. It's about proactively protecting one of your body's most important filtration systems. Every day you make decisions about what you eat, how you stay active, and whether you reach for that protein shake. By considering the warnings and suggestions shared today, you put yourself in the driver's seat of your own health. Visualize yourself a month from now. Perhaps you're experimenting with new recipes, cutting back on unnecessary shakes, feeling more energetic and less bloated. Picture your next doctor's visit going smoothly, with stable kidney function tests and no glaring concerns. Envision yourself enjoying your usual activities, be it gardening, walking with friends, or playing with grandchildren, knowing that you're doing what you can to stay strong and protect your well-being. If you're ready to take this a step further, here are some ways you might act on what you've learned. For the simplest starting point, you could commit to reading the label on your protein shake or discussing your protein goals with a close friend or family member. If you're feeling more motivated, schedule an appointment with your healthcare provider to discuss your kidney function or ask for a referral to a dietitian who specializes in senior nutrition. And if you're really ready to dive in, you could do a quick kitchen audit to see how often you replace meals with shakes, then plan out a few balanced, whole food options that offer a variety of nutrients. These layers of action allow you to choose how big or small you want your next step to be. You might start with just one small change, like improving hydration or mixing fresh spinach into your shake, and build from there. Or you might go all in and overhaul your current approach right away. Either way, you're in control. Now let's end with a note of empowerment. You've amassed a lifetime of wisdom, experiences, and resilience. That doesn't mean you should have all the answers about nutrition and kidney health on your own, but it does mean you're more than capable of using new information to make informed decisions. With each day, you have the opportunity to tweak your habits in a way that supports your health goals. Whether it's reading labels more carefully, talking openly with your doctor, or just staying hydrated, every step counts. Your kidneys are remarkable organs that deserve a little extra care, especially after 70. By finding balance, staying informed, and involving the right professionals in your decision-making, you can look after them effectively for many years to come. Here's to wiser choices, greater vitality, and the confidence that comes from being proactive about your well-being. Take a moment now to reflect on which advice you'll implement first. Sometimes the smallest action can pave the way for a brighter, healthier future. You've got this.